if you guys have seen but a lot of OG big time YouTubers have been quitting ASMR. And I thought, as someone who I had a unique insight, as someone, I think at this point I have to be almost close to 2,000 videos, and I think I've played the YouTube game long enough to get a perspective and to be able to speculate on their mindset. You know, people such as Matt Pat from Game Theory, if you've ever heard of him, just announced he was retiring, and a couple big ones just all in a row. There was like 5 big timers, OG YouTubers that they just got up and walked away from YouTube. I think one of the big factors is when you're talking to these YouTubers, I think they've made so much money at this point that they can retire. And as fun as YouTube looks, if you're doing it full time, they say do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, right? But I say do what you love for work, and what you love will become work. But you can still have fun doing it. But it just shows Matt Peck started doing those game theory videos as a hobby. And I'm sure he got on that treadmill and just burned himself out. And now his hobby is a job. So I guarantee you Game Theory and the other theory channels have brought in enough money for him that when you're talking every video he puts out is top of the trending page kind of channel, he's a millionaire. I mean, he has special YouTube shows, like he had his own YouTube for when you pay for YouTube. So that's that mindset. But I think there's a psychology with YouTube, and that can be really harmful for you if you're not careful. And that is the growth and the ups and downs that YouTube brings and the way it messes with your mind. You see, on YouTube you start small, and then you slowly grow. You get your first 10, 15, 20 people, your first 100 people. And if you have 100 subscribers, let's say you upload a video and 10 of them watch, and then if you start a new channel, you have 0, it's going to be really weird and disheartening to try and start over and get 0 views when you think I automatically get 10. And so this video is getting 0. How do I get that first video to send it out? And likewise, with the first 500 people, first 1,000, first 10,000, 100,000, 500,000, I'm sure. I'm not there yet, but there's a certain metric. Like, you guys coming in as subscribers and watching a video I post tells the algorithm how to show this video to other people beyond you guys. And so you guys are a real boost and an advantage. Now, YouTube does a lot to try and counteract this when it's trying to figure out what to send a video out to. And that's what the homepage is for. It's so that your videos don't necessarily go to your subscribers, but who the algorithm thinks will watch it. It's just that the subscribers who come in make a nice heavy profile. And then if, say, 1,000 people watch a video for 10 minutes, the algorithm says, wow, people really like this. They watch it for 10 whole minutes. We get 10 minutes of watch time. Let's send this to 20,000 people. And then based off the thumbnail too, it'll be like, say out of those 20,000 people, 5,000 clicked. Well, that's a 25%. So 1 out of every 4 people clicks on this video. That's amazing. It's 25% click-through rate. I don't know if that's even possible, but I doubt there's a video on all of YouTube that has a 25% click-through rate that has more than 1,000 views. Because if it's some kind of a special, like where you're signing people up in real life, as in you're doing conferences or something and people click on it, so everyone who goes to your conference goes here and clicks on the video, maybe that would have a high click-through rate. I don't know, but so anyways, you're trying to get this watch time, you're trying to get this click-through rate, and the subscribers really help, but it's not everything. There's channels really trend. It's kind of like a roller coaster. So your channel will go up and down on this roller coaster. But as you get more subscribers on the highs, and you come back to the lows, you're hoping it's higher lows. You know, you don't dip as far because all these new subscribers come. So even if you're not putting out the best videos, your creativity's just down for whatever reason, you're just kind of stumbling over yourself. You're trying, hopefully, but especially with these people who, you know, you've been doing it for years, you're working, and you're just in one of those dips. Well, you're hoping that it doesn't go as low as the last dip. And then the next high on the upward trend, you're hoping that that beats the last one. And you get even more subscribers to boost your videos even more. And then when it eventually comes down again, you're hoping it doesn't go as low. And you're hoping your roller coaster is generally trending in an upward trajectory over time. So if you look at it a year and you draw a line directly through the roller coaster, you want an upward trajectory. But that's not always the case. And when you're talking channels like that, or I guess any channel, you know, over years, you change. And your style changes, and your interests change, and your subscribers' interests change, and what they watch. Like, for instance, Mr. Beast's editing style, really fast, really hyper, a lot of cuts. It's dominated the last 10 years, and 10 years. It's dominated the last year or two, or maybe 3. And it was what brought people to videos. It's what blew Mr. Beast up to insane numbers across the board. But people are starting to get tired of it. And that's why you saw Sam Sulek, the bodybuilder. He's trending now. And everyone's baffled because it's almost 100% the opposite of Mr. Beast. Everything that's worked for the last 2 years, everything everyone pushes for, it's not as effective. And something that's the opposite, that would have never trended 2 years ago, that didn't even make sense, that people don't even understand yet, they're studying it. I'm sure a year from now they'll tell you a million little tricks on how to use, just what are the subtle things. But basically, it's a rejection, I think, of that Mr. Beast. Every second you need another cut. You need another cut. You gotta be loud. You gotta be yelling. You gotta have big explosions. You gotta just keep the viewer just hyper and fixated. Do not give them a second to look away from the screen or they'll miss something. People are getting tired of that. not everyone, but I mean across the board, something like Sam Sulek is a breath of fresh air to a lot of people. And so now you think of these YouTubers retiring, and you look at it at that lens, is you can be doing something like Matt Pat for years. And I guarantee he looked at Mr. Beast, and Matt Pat is a numbers guy, and you gotta know he's studying Mr. Beast like a hawk. So you take Matt Pat, who's studying Mr. Beast, and he's seeing the trend. You know, he's working. His trends are going up. His trends are going up. All of a sudden, you get the Sam Sulek, and things, even out, and it's like it's another style. So what happens when 1 month you're watching a roller coaster and all of a sudden you get a dip? Or what happens when your dip evens out? Or what happens when it even goes low? I can tell you that is not a good feeling. And it happens. So if you're a big person and you've been going for 11 years and you're at the top of the game, it's going to happen to you eventually. That happens, and it will happen. So you got to think this person is a millionaire, usually, I would suspect. Or they're extremely successful. They have enough money to retire. And all their work, all the effort they're putting in isn't bearing as much fruit as they're used to, which is very possible. And you can see with kind of the tiredness of the Mr. Beast style, how something like Matt Pat's channel might not be record setting like it was, which is huge, because to go from record setting to not record setting, but still by any means, you look at the Theorist channels and you look at the success they have with every video, and it's incredible. But go back a year ago and 2 years and compare it. If you compare 2 years ago the Theorist channels and right now the Theorist channels, I'd be curious if you match their growth and their numbers. Is it a little lower? Is it higher then? Or is it higher, plateaued? Is it still growing? I'd be curious, because there's this mental thing that happens to you when it's lower that makes people quit. Even though you look at Little Whisper Soft way down here, see that I'm at the very bottom of the screen, and Matt Pat Theorists at their top, they're at the top of YouTube. They're just like, I can't even imagine. And then just their channel right now, maybe here. But to them, they see this. And I think David Dobrik is another good example. If you look at his videos from 2 years before he quit, he was getting, I don't know, I'm going to make up numbers here, but let's say 50 million views. So if you look at his videos from 2 years ago, they're getting something like 50 million views. I know it's halved by the end. So whatever numbers it actually is, he ended up getting half. So COVID hit, he quit filming, he had a bunch of controversy, and then when he came back, he tried to get back into it, and his videos were getting like 20 million views. Now, I look at 20 million views, or let's say it was 20 million views before, and it's 10 million views now. I look at that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could not imagine putting out a video having 20 million views. My click-through rates are like $1.70, anywhere from $1.50 to $2. Sometimes could get up to $3 per 1,000 views. So let's just say he's getting $2 per 1,000 views. So whatever he gets in millions of views, he gets double that in thousands of dollars. So if he gets a video that makes 20 million views, he makes $40,000. Now, barring his videos could be a little controversial, and I'm not sure how, but he doesn't swear or anything, but there's a chance they could be demonetized or really hindered with the partial bans on what is it, the yellow S or the orange S, where there he'd still make 25%. So let's say he gets 20 million views and he'd still make $5,000, and he was doing one a week. So he would still make $20,000 a month. Now, that's probably not enough to support his lifestyle out there, and I don't think that's what's happening. I think he was making more like $140,000 a month, if I had to actually guess, and that's without doing sponsors. So yeah, if I had to just look at David Dobrik's channel, I would be like, he's making at least $140,000 off of YouTube revenue. And that's looking at the videos now. So that's like over the course of a year, he's made $140,000 off of that video. It's not like he made it all in a week, but I guarantee he made $60,000 or $70,000 of that in the first week. So anyway, now he comes back from COVID, and he goes from making $40,000 to $20,000. But in his mind, he's putting in all this work, and he's going up, and all of a sudden he's making half. He's getting half the views. His subscribers are doing whatever they're doing, maybe leaving, maybe not growing, maybe growing at half the rate. But now to you probably, and I know to me, if I ever saw that, if I ever had a video that got 20 million views, I would pass out. And then I would wake up, look at my computer screen, and then pass out again. And then I would immediately go buy a new truck because my car is about to break down. But for him, he's got to look at that, and it's something in your mind, you just think, you're making half. You're not seeing that I just made $20,000 for a week's worth of work. You're seeing I'm making half. I don't know how I can sustain my lifestyle. I've been living off this lifestyle that I expect a certain number. And I'm just not, I didn't hit that number. I didn't hit it by half. And David Dobrik's kind of a weird example because he went to Snapchat and just made a freaking fortune spamming Snapchat. But you get the idea of how he could step back and say, I don't know why I'm putting in the effort. I'm worth millions now. I've been making over 100,000 a month. Making couple million a year for a couple years. Why put in the effort? If I'm not there anymore, I'm not the top of the food chain. I'm falling. So I think a lot of these guys chased Mr. Beast, and I think the style of Mr. Beast over the last 2 years has really ramped up the treadmill. And I can say as someone who makes videos that even when you're having success, your most success, when you're just nailing it and you're doing everything right, even those videos, they go up to here and they kind of plateau and they kind of go up. Even though it's a roller coaster, if you have a lot of up, then you're even here and you're happy. But you'd be surprised how fast a human being can grow content. And you can't stay up here forever if you're doing everything right, because eventually you're going to do something wrong. And you're going to go down here. And you're already going to be content here. So when you get back to normal, you're not going to feel good. And that's kind of the YouTube treadmill, is you're just a mouse on that little circle running thing. And you feel like you're just running. Because if I make a video and I make a hit, at least for my channel, the haircut on a rock video, it's by far the most successful. It's even today, I get comments every day that I read from that video, along with the brand new videos I just put out. And so that video, I don't think it was this week, but every once in a while I'll look at what was your most watched video in the last week, and it'll still be the rock video from last summer. And that's just incredible. But it's also worrying because sometimes you look at that and you think, how much of my success right now, how much of the stuff I'm counting on for this channel comes from that rock video? And every day it gets older and older and fades away. So when that rock video fades away, will the channel dip back down to where it was when I'm content here? Am I content here? I don't know. I hope not. I hope, you know, you're ready for down here, way down here. But so sometimes it feels like you put out a successful video and then 5 days later, you know, it's gone with the rest and it kind of just settles into this spot. And it's got the views, it's going to get, you know, slowly going to simmer in the background. But all in all, everything the video has done is gone. And all the hype you had on that video is behind you now. Because when I make a video, I get excited to show you guys. Like, I'm like, I made this video, I get to put it out, I get to see how you guys like it. I get to read your comments and really just see if you guys like it. And just, I'm like the everything's wrong where I'm doing this, like, before I put those videos out, like, I can't wait. I want you guys to see it because I know a lot of people love it. It's a lot of work. And so after doing all that work to make a video, it's a pretty hard video to make. It's really tedious. So once it's done and it's ready to go, if I have to wait till Monday or Tuesday to put it out and say it's Saturday evening, I already put out the videos, I almost can't wait for Tuesday to come so I can release the video. And that's cool. But now you gotta think, I've done 2,000 videos, or around maybe 1,800 or something. But I've done a lot of videos, and each one I've been hyped on. But at some point, I'm hyped on a video, and I look 3 days later, and my hype is gone because I'm working on the next one. And then I come out with a video, and 3 days later, that hype is gone. And at some point, you look back, and you just think, yeah, I'm a mouse on a treadmill. You know, I'm just sitting here running, and this thing's going in circles, and I'm like, got the ledge is gone. Got the ledge is gone. Got the ledge is gone. And I think that's a mentality of these people who've been doing it for 11 years. They've had hits, they've made video after video after video, and they've had that hype. They've had that big build up, and they've gotten it, and they showed it, and then it just was fading behind them, and they're working on the next one. And they're like, here it is, here's the big hit, we're excited, and then it's fading behind you. And they're always, and after 11 years, I think, especially if you've made enough money to retire, you got to be thinking, do I really want to keep running on this treadmill? So I think that's a big reason why a lot of them will leave. And then you add to it that hype of being gone, of just being on this treadmill, and then the hype being behind you. And then you're not doing as well as you did. I mean, say whatever algorithm, whatever trend, whatever thing you were doing, now everyone else is doing it. So you don't stand out as much. And so you're kind of fading. So you have this video you hyped, and you put it out and you go, hey, and it gets half the views of what you're used to. And it's still incredible to someone on the outside, but to you, you got to be thinking, dang, that only did half. You know, what is wrong with the video? And after you get, say you get 10 of those in a row, you got to be thinking, you know, I could retire. And I think the better thing to do was you can step off of the treadmill and then get on it when you need to exercise. Because it's not healthy to never get on a treadmill, but it's not healthy to always be on a treadmill either. So I don't think full retirement, which I think a lot of these YouTubers, like MatPat, I think is still going to work in the background. I can't remember the name. There's another popular one that I just have off the top of my head. I can't think of right now, but he said he's been for 10 years. He's done one video a week, this other channel. and he's done. But I think he's still going to do videos, and I think he should. I think the answer for that guy would be to do something like one video a month or one video quarterly, and just take that, make it your vacation. You're retired, but you got to get back to remembering it's a passion. This is fun. I mean, I'm getting to talk to you guys. You are watching this right now, and then you're going to get to comment, and these thoughts I'm having, you're going to get to tell me what you think, and I get to read, and I get to think about what you say, and I get a deeper understanding, and it's just a great thing to have. And it's super enjoyable, and it's fun, and it's really cool. But I was doing, I don't know what I was doing. I was doing, I think 6 videos a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then taking Sunday off and getting Monday back. But I was putting them out 2 a day, every other day. And that gets to be really tedious. I mean, even though you love it, it's like you watch those guys who play video games all day. I used to think that'd be the best thing ever. And now I go and I watch them playing video games, and they're sitting in the same seat they were sitting in 4 years ago, playing the same game for 8 hours. I mean, that goes from sounding like the coolest thing to really, when you think about it, it's starting to sound like torture. I mean, how tedious, how tired of a game would you get if you had to just sit there 8 hours a day? I mean, it sounds like my childhood dream, but I'll do it for 3 hours. I'll do it for 3 hours, 4 or 5 days a week, maybe 3 days a week. But 8 hours every day, it's torture. And that's what doing those 2 videos every other day, it made it not as fun, which in turn makes the videos get a little bit less creative, because you're having a little less fun, because you're a little bit overworked. Just like, this is fun, but if I had to stand here with my arms out doing this for 50 hours, it starts to not be fun anymore. So I like to keep it fun. So then I pulled back to, I think I do a video Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So that's opened up a lot of room to be creative and a lot of room to build things. And I think that's what these guys and girls who are retiring need to do, is they need to just step back and find out what makes it fun. Because you look at Matt Pat, he loves theorizing, but he's burnt out on it. And it's like, well, just pick one good theory and give yourself 90 days to just relax and do it for fun. You don't have to, but do it for fun. And then post that. So, I don't know. Those are kind of my thoughts. I don't know, in summary, it's kind of like you just get burned out. You're not hitting the highs that you used to. So even though you're doing really good, it doesn't seem good to you because you're used to doing better. Even though from the outside, it looks like you're doing really good. And then at the same time, you're just on a treadmill. And at some point you realize you're on a treadmill and you just want to get off. And they can afford to. So they are.